it's fine. So this is a visualization of human brain. How many of you like biology here? You do like biology? You like biology? I have never liked biology actually. I was really bad at it in high school. That's why I'm studying computer science. Okay, anyway, so this is the human cortex, and you can see that how much area of the human cortex is used for which part of our organ. So if you look at a human body like in a normal shape, then you cannot kind of understand that that small part of your body is using that much brain space. Except for our hand, it's very small compared to the other parts of our body. And if you look at this one, so this is scaled in terms of how many space in cortex you are using. So your hand, these small hands gets really big here in motor model because your hands use most of your brain. So you cannot understand this by looking at the normal human body picture. So when you scale it in terms of the data that you are trying to represent, then it becomes interesting and it becomes very relevant. So if you like show it to someone and ask, okay, I have scaled it in terms of the motor uses of the cortex uses of our brain, and if you ask them that, okay, what do you understand from it? Which part of our body uses the most part of our brain? And then they can easily answer it. But if you just show someone a normal human body picture, it won't be able to, it's not clear that what the data is trying to represent. Okay, I thought just I would just show you because I like this picture a lot.
Can we go back for a second?
Yeah.
So how do people think that, so obviously this is sculpted, but how do people think that they got the data to sculpt this? Like, how do we know that the hands take up the largest area of the motor cortex?
Maybe people donated their organs in order for science and they went off of those.
So like they looked at the brain and they were somehow able to connect it?
Yeah.
Right, and any other?
Brain scans, they would look up your brain to do activities and you would do certain things.
Anybody else have any other guesses?
They would make you do something, and then you would they would look at how your brain reacted, like what part of your brain went off. Like let's say each part of the brain had a light bulb, and maybe whenever you moved your hand, a big part of the brain had a light bulb and it went off.
So they were like measuring the brain when you were moving around, or various parts of your body were being prodded. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, go ahead.
Can you tell?
Oh, sure, go ahead. Yeah, and anytime if you need to use the bathroom, just go. Yeah, so this research, these particular homunculi were made in the 70s, but this is based off research dating back even to the 30s. So before they had MRI machines and other ways to scan the brain non-intrusively, they would go to people with a problem with their brain that they were trying to fix, and they just try to see, okay, well, which part of the brain is connected to what, so that way we can try to fix the part that's broken and not mess up anything else. So it's kind of gruesome, but I think it's also kind of cool. So I'm trying to imagine how they would do this, and I presume that they just they have you awake, and then they have your brain exposed, and then they're like, all right, you're going to poke this part of the brain. Do you feel anything? Where do you feel it? Go ahead.
I'm sure they would have to have you awake because although your brain can't feel past that point, it's very easy to just kill anybody when you have their brain exposed with them being asleep.
Yeah, I think it's like not too unusual actually. They'll keep you awake. But they over the cortex. So if we look at this picture, this is kind of a slice, like not a slice. They weren't slicing the brain; they're just poking it. But if you imagine kind of like a plane going through your head this way, this is I think like this part. So it's the right half, and kind of through the middle. And so in Latin, the word cortex means skin. So this is just the skin, just the outside of the brain, and all these wrinkles. They would poke here and say, okay, where'd you feel that? Oh, I felt that in my tongue. Poke here. Oh, I felt that in my nose. So that's sensory. So if you look at this guy on the left, part of your cortex, where'd you feel that? On this part of your hand. Elsewhere, on this part of the hand. Elsewhere, nose. So they said, okay, the largest area of the sensory cortex is devoted to the hands. So, so this is a great way to just say, okay, this thing that we don't really understand fully, the brain, here's maybe one way of looking at it, of what it prioritizes. It thinks that being able to move the hands around and being able to feel with the hands, really important.